There we go. We are live. Hello, everybody.
Hello, hello.
Hi.
Hi. And welcome to the Tavern Talks podcast, where...
Episode 2.
Episode 2.
Yeah.
Episode 2, the sequel.
This is a sequel to the sequel because we did podcast before.
We did.
It's a reunion.
This is becoming a franchise. So,
Yeah.
same as last week, I'm Sam, but you can call me Waffles. I'm Waffles Royale on like everything, including Twitch, especially Twitch, where I do streaming. Shameless plug. And I'm going to throw the ball to my compadre, Nick.
Hello. I'm Nick.
Lovely enthusiasm. Bravo. Bravo.
I'm also unsalted_Bork on Twitch. And that's it. Martin, you're up.
Hello, hello. I'm Martin. I generally have just Golden Eagle in random places. I don't stream, so there's no real reason to know my Twitch. I'm pretty sure there's links in the description for the socials that I don't use.
Oh, they'll be in there this week.
Yeah. I log into them all the time, but I don't post anything. I have a post scheduled for a month from now.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I love our little introductions. I think they're unique.
We'll tell you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
Hard hitting, straight to the point. So, unless anyone else wants to, does anyone else want to kick off this, or...?
No, I'll let you go ahead with it.
It is my solemn duty to accept.
Yes.
So, big news of the last week.
Big news! That's the theme.
Super big news. Embracer Group, a Swedish... I'm not quite sure what they are. It's a Swedish company, a Swedish collective, have acquired a large portion of Square Enix's Western devs. It's worth around 300 million, am I reading that right, guys?
Yep.
300 million. They've acquired over 50 IPs, including Tomb Raider, Deus Ex, Thief, and Legacy of Kain. Square Enix is retaining some of the IPs, including Life is Strange, Outriders, and Just Cause. So, some of the groups that Embracer Group have acquired in the whole process is Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal. Now, if I remember rightly, Nick, you might be able to correct me, and Martin, you too. Didn't Crystal Dynamics make the Avengers game?
I'm pretty sure they did. Hold on.
Yeah.
And I'm
Avengers
sure
game.
Eidos Montreal did Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yep, Crystal Dynamics did the Marvel Avengers game.
Okay. What about Guardians of the Galaxy? I'm sure
let's have a
Eidos
look.
Montreal did that.
Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. Developer Eidos Montreal. Yeah.
Oh gosh, that's
Yeah, published by Square Enix. Okay.
not to rain on anyone's parade, but or like to add someone's misery. But do you not find it kind of comical that it's the studios that develop both these Marvel games?
Well, that would just like sell everything.
Well, they either means they did really good or they wanted red.
Yeah, no, they got the purpose. They were saying some articles I was reading that they got rid of the ones that haven't been performing well.
Oh.
Yeah.
But they did
Yes, here is a quote here on the Metro. It's not just a question of money either, as it would mean continuing to type Crystal Dynamics on a game that is not widely popular, and which even Square Enix admitted was the wrong fit for the studio. So, if they think it's a wrong fit for them anyway to be doing it, which you wouldn't have done too, they wanted to capitalise on the money. It didn't work out well because they didn't do it as good as they could have done.
Yeah.
And now they've abandoned it. I like this sale, personally.
I like that they purposely went out and said these 4 game franchises, i.e. Tomb Raider, Deus Ex, Thief, and Legacy of Kain, they felt the need to point those ones out specifically.
Yes.
So I'm feeling a remake of Legacy of Kain is gonna happen because of this.
Because of this
requirement.
purchase, yeah.
Yeah.
There's if they're going out of the way to purposely point it out, there's at least some people in that company that are like, I like this game, or I liked the game, and I want to see what we can do with it. Also, there's a lot of big companies. You have to get everyone on board, the majority of people.
Yeah.
So there's hopefully plans. It's a good sign. I'm very much looking forward to it because they haven't been performing. These things have been going downhill for a lot of these things.
Yeah.
So to actually see another studio, like they have THQ Nordic and Gearbox Software are part of Embracer Group, the two of the subsidiaries. THQ have done like quite a lot of other stuff. For a little bit experience with other parts. Let's take a look on the video games. Like they got Kings of Amalur, which didn't do well, but it was decent for things. They did just some of the Darksiders, not Dark Souls, Darksiders. So that could be good. But THQ Nordic's always been kind of okay. But Gearbox, for all their Borderlands, I've always done well.
Yeah.
Like that. That's where it is for me for a lot of those games. So when you develop good shooters like that, a lot of people like, you can start bringing a lot of that skill and team into that. Like they did Bulletstorm, which apparently was like really, really good. They could start bringing, if they wanted to, if they chose to. Like I like the direction that Tomb Raider went for a lot of it, but I know a lot of people didn't, and that's why it wasn't doing well. But they could bring it back to some of the original ones, where it's a lot of dive, flip, jumps everywhere, and she's just an absolute killing machine, and just make it a fun, crazy shooting game, because that's what they have a lot of experience in. The Duke Nukem series, Borderlands, Bulletstorm, things like that. So they could easily hand it off to them and make a Tomb Raider game that a lot of the older fans would enjoy, and still keep even a lot of Lara's character. Yeah. Since we already had Tomb Raider, we had Rise of the Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, whatever they were called. I know it was Rise and Shadow, but we already have established Lara's kind of backstory for things, and pulled her up forward more, where she's actually like a good Tomb Raider now.
Yeah.
Keep that, move forward with it, and make her go crazy again to make it a fun game as well again. It was always fun, but you know what I mean? More into the older ones. You can start bringing the older fans back into it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't have any experience with Legacy of Kain. I want to hear about that. I assume you've played it then, Nick? Since you went anywhere to bring it up.
I played Soul Reaver, which I think was the third game. But even that I did not play much of. Okay. I remember watching my brother play it a lot, though, on PS1.
Oh, this dude looks familiar. I've just Googled it.
Yeah. The concept has always interested me, though. How, like, basically your players, I think he's called Raziel, and he's like an angel who's kind of getting his way up the ranks really quickly, and this guy Kain isn't a fan of that, so he like casts you into the underworld. So nice. Basically you're trying to get revenge. Classic revenge tale.
Yeah.
And, the concept has always interested me. You switch between like the soul world and the real world to do like puzzles and find particular enemies, stuff like that. But that's kind of the extent of my knowledge for it, to be quite honest.
Okay. It actually looks mad. Like, I'm looking at pictures now.
Yeah, I was looking at pictures, and it immediately was reminding me of the actual Darksiders series. You know, that THQ Nordic has in like just for some, like I'm looking at gameplay now, similar kind of camera. I'm trying to find actual fighting in there. Let's see how that looks. Assuming there's fighting. I'll carry on looking at some point. But yeah, either way then. So yeah, at least since they've talked about Legacy of Kain, that could be cool and possibly a good fit for the studio. As well as Deus Ex and then Thief. Didn't they remake it at some point? Thief. They rebooted it, didn't they?
and the remake was not very well received at all.
Yeah, I remember being like, oh, it's so terrible. Yeah, the 2014 one.
The original Thief was really interesting. It was kind of like I believe you were in Victorian London, and the first mission you were like sneaking into a manor to find a scepter or something or other. But then it takes like such a left turn on the second mission. You go into like a mine, and there are fucking zombies in there, and shit just starts getting supernatural, and it got really weird. But I love the Thief game. The first one, at least. I've barely played the second one and barely played the third.
Yeah.
But the first one was so good.
And then the 2014 remake didn't want well received, so yeah.
I watched it's a YouTube channel called NoClip. Have you ever watched any of his stuff?
Yeah.
Like,
I love Daniel Dwyer.
I love... I could sit here forever and talk about my love for that guy and that show. Well, I call it show, that channel. Yeah, I watched a documentary that they did about Thief on there.
All right, I haven't seen that one.
It was weird. Like, explaining those different types of arrows. Like, I remember a clip that stuck out to me, and there was like, there was different types of arrows. We had water arrows, and I was like, yeah, that's insane. Like, what?
Yeah, it was kind of not the first stealth game, but it was the first one to like bring stealth to first person, I want to say. And they had like a shop at the start of every level. So any valuables that you found during levels, you sold and got X amount of money to spend on fancy arrows and stuff. So there was there was water arrows to put out torches in sconces. There was like moss arrows. So sometimes a floor would be like a tile floor or something, so your footsteps are going to make more noise on it. So you'd shoot down a moss arrow, and it'd just shoot out clumps of what looked like shit. Obviously, it was moss. So it like softened your footsteps. It was really interesting, like all the ways they basically made your bow the only tool you really needed. So obviously you'd get your like rope arrows as well, and you'd get just broadhead arrows for killing people, or just using them as distractions. You get all these different kinds of arrows, which was really fucking cool, and I don't think they retained any of that for the remake.
No, I remember nothing like that. I'm pretty sure I had like a special power too. It's been a while since I played the remake of Thief, because I tried a little bit of it, and I'm like, oh, this could be cool, maybe.
Yeah.
And then just didn't really like it.
I think I own Thief, the remake.
Yeah, I own it like everywhere. It's constantly going down to like £2 on everything.
What I say about how I owned mine is it was when they were like randomly giving the game away for free.
Yeah, I think that's when I got it.
So like, I think I've got it like on my PlayStation, on my Xbox, and on my PC. Like, it's just there existing, and it's like I don't have any like intent on playing it.
I just hope they don't modernize it like the remake did. If they do either remake or like reboot, I'm hoping that they keep the same like no direction. They just throw you in a location, you have to find your way around, you have to find the valuables, you have to find the objective.
Yeah.
There are water arrows in the remake.
Right, okay.
I'm looking at Games of Persia, but still, it's...
I take
looking
back
at
my scathing review.
yeah, it's perfect. Get 10 out of 10. Now, looking at Thief #1,
Yeah.
like that came out in 1998,
Shit.
the same year as Ocarina of Time,
Fuck.
and it's looking at it. It is for 1998. Like, looks like an absolute fantastic game. Like first-person stuff, we're going through this manor and everything, and having so much for a 1998 game, so much care into it, and you can see that
One
fully.
thing that really sticks out to me about Thief is the environments. Like the models of like the guards and stuff, they don't look great. Like,
a lot to be desired, but
don't look great. But the textures are fine. They're passable. But the environments are absolutely gorgeous in that game.
Yeah. For 980, that's the best they could do for a lot of movable characters.
Yeah.
So I see the limitation there, but you can tell that they pushed the limitation as much as they possibly could. I see him go and pickpocket a guard and like go move the body of a guard. All these things that weren't seen in video games at that time.
Yeah.
You know, later on we got like Metal Gear Solid, a third-person one specifically, but that had a lot of like boundary pushing things for the technology side to push to push graphical things. Where it's completely a game, but to push the graphics forward and push those limitations. And you can see here, this is like, I still see indie games that look worse than this. To this day, that try to make it look good and not pull it off.
Yeah.
And that's what I think that's really, looking at it here, looking at the videos side by side, that is what the remake of Thief was missing, is just the inspired nature to it, to really make a difficult level. Like, this looks difficult, because there's no clear set path, it just looks like a livable house sort of thing. Whereas I remember playing the remake, it was just, run straight forward, follow this marker, go pick this lock.
Incredibly linear, whereas the original Thief, I think it's called The Dark Age, is the subtitle of it.
Yeah, the Dark Project.
The Dark Project, that's the one. It had like a linearity, but also not open world, but kind of, it was somewhere between being linear and open world.
Yeah, it's like a little sandbox. Like, they created this whole level for you and like tackle it how you want.
Yeah.
And that is very, very apparent here from this. But I remember playing Thief feeling like very much like, I have to go down here, I have to jump over this thing, I have to now follow this person, I have to do this thing, I have to do that thing.
Yeah.
And now it is only the prologue, but it still lacks that inspired nature to push the boundary like the first one did.
Yes.
Like, beyond and all, that is the problem with it. Because it's not a bad stealth game. You have Indie Studio release it, and it had probably quite well received at that point. But because it had the IP of Thief, I think a lot more was expected because of that boundary push.
Yeah. 100%.
See, sometimes that can be the problem with modernising a game franchise or rebooting or remaking like an established franchise. It already has that pedigree slapped on it in the way of the franchise name. So, like when they remade Doom, or we'll say rebooted Doom, there were such high expectations for that because it had that seal of pedigree, Doom, slapped on it.
Yes.
Although that 100% met and exceeded.
Oh,
that delivered. Yeah.
I know what I'm
saying.
Thank you,
Mick Gordon.
But what I'm saying is, it absolutely fucking shot way beyond them expectations. It totally did. Whereas Thief didn't. It totally missed it big time.
Yeah.
But as was said, like, the studio would have probably fared better if they'd have just marketed it under a different name and not used that thief seal of quality. Because that's why a lot of people felt cheated out of it, because, like, when I looked at this documentary and I saw the gameplay for the first, like, the three Thief games, I was like, oh my god, this is actually, like, amazing, like, I really like this. And then I've seen maybe brief little bits about Thief, and I was like, this doesn't meet that expectation.
Yeah. Now the real question is then, do we even think that the new studio, do we think that Embracer Group could deliver if they wanted to do another Thief?
To be fair, I think it depends on the studio they pick to do the development.
Yeah, like if it's THQ or if it's some of the others.
Or be sure, or once you've picked a developer to work on it, just be sure of their skill or their ability before you set them on. Otherwise, we'll end up with a Vampire Bloodlines 2 incident where Hardsuit Labs just got totally dropped.
Yeah.
And then they've had to start up development again under a new studio, which they've not even said who it is. Or anything about it. Yeah.
At the very least, I'm happy about the purchase, though, because when you have a studio that's like, oh, we're only going to sell these IPs, it's not the whole company being bought out. They basically turned around and have admitted that they essentially are dropping all of these. They don't want to do them anymore. There'll be little side categories to kind of like side projects just to capitalize on the already established fan base. Not invest that much money into them because they haven't been performing well and stuff. So it's either we probably weren't going to get any more of those games, or they were going to be really bad because they didn't want to make them. So now we have a company that actually wanted to buy these things and make games from them, and I've come forward and said, like Legacy of Kain, when someone bought a studio, like, would they even have mentioned such a game? Like, how many people did know it and would want to talk about it and have a remake of it and things? It's something they want to push. Deus Ex, I remember everyone ranting over how good it was when it first came out, the first one. And that's gone off the radar completely. So bringing that back and bringing these others, they at least have some sort of plan or desire to create. And that's clearly what Square Enix were missing this whole time, was a desire from then it not doing well for the first couple of times.
Yeah.
So I'm happy about it. Yeah.
Well, whatever they do with them, they do something proper with them, don't?
Yeah, I hope so.
See, because I don't even know what Embracer Group actually is. I feel like I should probably just Google them.
I feel like they've come into popularity during the pandemic. It feels like they've just appeared with shitloads of money, and they've just been acquiring loads of people ever since the pandemic started. I don't remember hearing anything about them beforehand.
Oh, apparently, the company was established under the name Nordic Games Licensing in 2011 as part of the Nordic Games Group. It seems they changed the name later on.
They are. Okay.
They did that in 2016. Yeah.
They are a game and media holding company. But that just definitely like leaves me to think. Do you know what I mean? It just makes me think, like, what?
Yeah, they had they went by formerly Nordic Games Licensing AB in 2016. Then it was THQ Nordic AB from 2016 to 2019. So that's why I went ahead of them, because they've only been established like as this name for the past 3 years. But still, it could be good. I mean, the Saber Interactive is also what they actually own, our Embracer Group as well.
Yeah, they have Gearbox as well.
Yeah, and they have
Saber. Shit, they don't know.
They have to have Crisis and stuff. Yeah.
So they
They
even own the company that owns the developer of Goat Simulator, for crying out loud. Dark Horse Media.
Awesome.
Oh my gosh, what the...
So yeah, they have potential. There's potential for it, at least. So,
most importantly, they own Gex.
Which was Gex? Hold on.
It was a PS1 game where you played as like a gecko.
The gecko.
It's like Gecko. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
As soon as you said Gex, I just sit there for a moment and be like, is he on about the gecko?
I thought it was for a second, and I was like, "Is that?" I don't know. I don't want to make a fool of myself. Let's Google it first.
Oh well, we've blown the big reveal in for the game studios at June, Nick. They're doing a Gex reboot.
Man, if only.
You'll ever remember Croc?
They could make it worse and say Gex
Croc was great.
Fortnite.
Yahoo!
Pay us $10 and you can play as Gex. What?
I wonder how much that would even sell. That'd be hilarious.
Like what?
The people who won't even know the character.
Oh no, nobody would.
They might just be a gecko.
Be a very niche thing. Oh, I guess congratulations, Embracer Group.
Yeah, good purchase.
Do
well with it.
Good spending decision. Do well with it. Yeah.
Good luck. Yeah.
Please don't fuck it up.
Don't screw it up, please. Oh, what's next on this agenda of ours?
That's what I wrote.
Oh, will you take the lead with it, please?
Sure. So, Vanilla Radicals, it was rumours at first, but then it was confirmed that Ubisoft stocks it's confirmed that Ubisoft stocks were low enough to actually possibly get a takeover happening.
Right.
For a lot of businesses to come in and buy them. And at first it was just low enough, no one was really interested, but now a lot of private equity firms have confirmed that they are interested in purchasing it.
Oh, please don't.
So, but like Microsoft and Sony haven't, at least at the moment, put like a statement out with if they're interested or not, and what's going to happen in that regard. It's just low enough for private equity to buy it and take over the whole thing. I'm concerned. Ubisoft has been gone downhill since around. You know what? I could give you a date even. Let me give you a year when it went downhill. All right, where is it? I was googling because the last good Ghost Recon they did was Future Soldier, and then we also have the last good Assassin's Creed game. I know a lot of people liked Origins. I didn't like Origins at all. I haven't played any since because I don't care because they're really going downhill. Black Flag was the only last Assassin's Creed that was somewhat decent. We'll call it. So it was around 2012, 2013. They have gone downhill ever since. There hadn't been a single Ubisoft game besides, I think, For Honor that I even enjoyed from them. So I'm excited for them to be bought out and go to somewhere else with other people that maybe can fund and direct it. Maybe include some other teams in that. And that's the problem with private equity firms, is that they don't give a damn about the industry.
Yeah.
They're there to make money. And with that, Ubisoft will go even worse than they already are. They'll start pushing more microtransactions if they can get away with it. They're going to try all the boundaries that are going to be pushed now by Ubisoft. Rather than the original Ghost Recon games where they had the French military come in and they mocapped their stuff. They brought in weapons and they testified them to get all the recoil from them and accuracy and speed ratings, all for Ghost Recon Advanced Warfare, I think was number 2. Rather than bringing them in and pushing the boundaries in that way, they're doing nothing. They won't care because it'll be too much money for them to do that. The private equity firm that owns them, if they get them, won't give a damn. And that's my main concern, is that Ubisoft will go even more downhill if a private equity firm buys it. If we get a big company, though, like Microsoft or Sony that buys them, we could really start seeing some good Ubisoft games come back. Because they'll have the money for it.
But you've got to remember, Martin.
Mm-hmm.
They did Hyperscape, the groundbreaking battle royale experience that crashed and burned after less than 2 years of existence, and now just doesn't exist anymore. I'm sure they shut it down.
I think they might have done.
Yes,
I liked the idea of it. It was just really bad.
And I was like, what?
Yeah.
Which I thought was funny.
The problem was the guns were just absolutely terrible.
To be fair, I think it's just people are getting sick of Battle Royale, but that's my hot take.
There is that as well. It is getting to the point where it's kind of... It became very oversaturated very quickly. Sprinkle them in the next couple of years. If we get a couple of year break from them, sure. Bring another one back in, it'll probably be really well received. But oversaturated
they
for now.
announce a reboot of Splinter Cell.
They did, which
I know they're making another one, yeah.
Something I'm definitely interested in. I'm happy with that.
Yes. I want Sam Fisher back.
They're going to try to make it open world.
I hope they do.
No, I hope
because you just know what they're going to do if they do that. There's going to be 10 kinds of collectibles. There's going to be side missions. There's going to be side missions.
If then looking at Blacklist, which wasn't a good Splinter Cell game, if a game returned that. I saw the biggest when I was returning it, but I bought that release. It came 2 days early, and I was so excited. And I played the hell out of it, and played it all through with my brother for a co-op thing, and it was just terrible. From what Splinter Cell used to be. Again, another thing of Splinter Cell's on the name, you expect it to be really good. But as an indie game, it would have gone well. Or a new launch title, sure, I would have accepted it. We'll see how it goes. I'd like another one, because that was the last one that we've had He got that cameo, didn't he, in Ghost Recon at one point?
Yeah.
In Wildlands, I think it was.
I mean, I don't know how much that like counts for anything, because I'm pretty sure the Predator got a cameo in Wildlands. So did what's his face, John Bernthal.
Yeah, so we'll see how much that holds.
Another place they did shove Sam Fisher in Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah, to be fair, I'll give him credit on Siege. Siege, like, I haven't played it myself, but it's very, very been well received by a lot of people.
Yeah, and they've been supporting the hell out of it. Like, I'm pretty sure they're still supporting it, adding new.
Oh yeah, they are.
Tivs.
Oh, they are, which I like. The only thing they did in Siege when they brought Sam Fisher in, I just got it up now. They like it was his in-game operator name was Zero, but when you went into the description for him, it literally just said Sam Fisher.
Right.
Oh yeah, they had Rainbow Six Extraction, which I downloaded the thing to play it, and then
No, stay away.
Was it no good? I know it had aliens in or something, didn't it? From the promotional material I saw.
I feel like what they did there is they just took a limited time event they made, because they did originally that was a limited time event.
Ah, it's made it a full game with it.
Yeah, basically off that one concept, and it just didn't work.
Yeah. See, I saw this like versing aliens mode, and I immediately thought of Call of Duty Ghosts. Like, because Infinity Ward brought in their own kind of zombie mode, right? Because Treyarch has zombies in their Call of Duty games. Infinity Ward brought in that alien mode, didn't they?
Well, that clearly stuck around and did well.
Yeah, I liked it, but Extinction, that's what it was called. Yeah, Call of Duty Ghosts Extinction, and it was a... like, I enjoyed it, but a lot of people didn't be like, we want zombies! Alright.
I liked Extinction. It was aliens.
Yeah.
I was like, go on. I like this is different. This, but then like, I'm not gonna lie. Like a little bit after my excitement died down, I was like, where's zombies?
Bitches love zombies.
Yeah. As someone who's never liked any COD Zombies mode, I know. Burn me in the DMs and comments and everything.
You're in the wrong part, Al, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. I enjoyed Extinction. And that's where I was the minority for it, and that's where the mode didn't stay. But yeah, but it reminded me of that. Did Rainbow Six, the Extraction. Reminded me of that mode again. That's what was making me want to even try it.
I just want...
Never going to it.
If anything, back to games, the Ubisoft thing, I just want them to hurry up and make the Prince of Persia remake.
Yeah.
It's taking the piss now. Like, come on. Get it together.
Only if I can play as Jake Gyllenhaal.
Absolutely. Do you want that? Do you want there's like a release-wide thing, or just like a personalised copy for the select few?
Yes.
Okay, that does that mean give it to everyone?
Prince of Persia, let's get. So I'm googling when the last Prince of Persia was.
I remember watching the Prince of Persia film.
Yeah.
On my birthday years ago, when it first came out, I was like, nope.
Could have been better. Yeah, it was Prince of Persia: The Forgotten Sands back in 2010. Seems to be one of their last ones. Unless they brought one on mobile, because I remember hearing one about.
The one that was cell shaded.
Yeah, that was the 2008 one, just called Prince of Persia. It was not bad. I liked that one. Forgotten Sands was meh. But I did like the just Prince of Persia that came out in 2008. The cell shaded one. Not bad. It was a nice different take in an environment. It was still the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, if we can get another one, another Prince of Persia that does something new and interesting with the franchise. Like, we can look through, like, first one, Sands of Time, great. First one, can't go wrong with it, was good. Warrior Within, a great one in there, went nitty gritty and dirty with it. and push with the darker coming after him all the time.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Having basically Nemesis coming after you, like, was good. Like the moment he came around the corner, the fucking Godsmack kicked in. That was good.
Yeah.
And then we had Two Thrones, which like pushed the boundaries of like different parts of the gameplay and how it worked. And I had the chain whips and things. Like all that worked well, and like turning himself into different mode and everything was great.
Yeah.
And none were good. Then Cell Shaded One had a lot of water stuff in there as well, like with this little girl you had to help and things as well. And then I don't remember Forgotten Sands doing anything good. So yeah, having another one where they're doing something interesting and different with the franchise would be really nice. Yeah.
So it feels like the same again if Ubisoft can be susceptible to a takeover at the minute. If it happens, good luck to whoever gets them.
Yeah. If they do take over, do well with the company, please, because there's so much IP games that Ubisoft own that have pushed the franchise, they pushed gaming a lot of Ubisoft.
Yeah.
So I hope it's not a private equity company, private equity firm. I hope it's not. I hope it's a good gaming company, because they can do a lot with Ubisoft. They can do a lot.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Hmm.
Right.
Isn't that all the news we could find like this week?
That's all that really
Well, that's
classified
the
as
big news.
groundbreaking.
Yeah, all the big news, all the worthwhile news. Yeah, the big news.
Well, all news is
Little news,
worthwhile,
yes.
but we have to be
We've-
realistic about what we
What's
put.
big news? Yeah.
But ironically, again, we've just had the news, and right before the news, we have. Well, I'm just going to pose it as a question. What have you been playing, guys?
Video
Video
games.
Go on, Nicola, you go
Well,
first.
Yeah, I think we all go first. Directly after filming the podcast, recording the podcast
Yeah.
last time, I was convinced to play Fortnite.
You enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it until I realised everyone was bots.
They weren't all bots.
Oh, we won 3 games in a row.
Against bots.
They
Easily.
weren't all bots.
No bots. There was a lot of bots, but we at the end the final battles we were against players, and they were really bad.
It's literally like something ridiculous, like the first few enemies you come across are usually bots, but by the end game, where it mattered, where we had to outgun and outmaneuver other people, those that were people and weren't bots, I think we did an absolutely smashing job, and I was hoping we'd become the dream team, but...
Killed by one guy. All 3 of us got killed by one guy.
Yeah, we split up and didn't do well. I was down a hole. Someone else around the side, and then the other one came around the other side.
I was trying to be a very stealthy Moon Knight,
Yeah,
since that's the skin I had on.
that was good. Yeah,
Yes, skins still exist, kids.
Now some sexy robot woman.
You were a beautiful robot. I
Yes.
wanted to play that game with you fellas, but, you know.
I mean, you two still can, but I got what I needed out of it.
you already uninstalled it.
You make up, like, a good percentage of the firepower, though, so me and Martin are just sitting ducks otherwise. Anyway,
But yeah,
I'm trying to look at the minimum.
to be...
Sorry, go on, mine.
I'm looking at the minimum and maximum bots because I was just curious on there.
God. God, fuel to the fire, Martin.
How many people are in a match?
100.
100. Apparently the max you can have is like 75
Wait, what?
bots in a game. But it depends on your skill. Apparently they made the bots skill-based, like matchmaking of how many come in. You can have, like if you have tier 3 with like 2 good players or something, and it's like 20 bots. But with one bad and one bad to mid player, it goes to like 75. But still, either way, I know that at the very end anyway, we won those 3 fights in the row together. But it was still fun. I enjoyed Fortnite. Like the no-build mode.
Yeah. The no build, certainly. To be fair, after we played that, I think I've played like maybe 1-2 more games, and then I've just like drifted away from it.
Yeah.
So it's not always it's not always the best.
Yeah,
But-
it's very much a game that you can go to, and it's only done so well because there's always the new skins and new things coming out constantly. It's the only reason I go back. If they bring oh, you can get Jill Lara again, I'm like, boom,
Yeah.
give, and I'll load up and play it for another 3 or 4 games and then quit again.
So give me it.
Yeah,
That
and that'd literally be the only reason I'd load it up, unless someone else is like, hey, you want to play it?
Yeah. So we played Fortnite.
Yeah.
Me and Nick moved on to well, we were all going to, but I'm actually
Blood hunting didn't quite work out.
Yeah, I'll let Nick say it. I was just dancing around the subject.
So me and Sam have played some more Blood Hunt together on PS5. I've fallen off of it at this point. But also, after playing, I think it was directly after playing Fortnite, after the podcast recording,
Yeah.
we decided to try and get Martin in on the fun, but there's no crossplay yet. So that meant that Martin and Sam had to download Blood Hunt for PC, and then the issues began.
A lot of technical issues. Yeah. I got him fine, but
first of all, Sam couldn't get into his Steam account, I believe.
That'd be fixed.
no, it said he wasn't logged in. Whenever he'd load up the game, he get him to Steam fine, but whenever he'd log in, the game's like, oh, you're not connected to your Steam account, you're not logged in.
Right, okay.
Yeah, it was.
Which didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
How can you load up the game on Steam and then not be signed into Steam? And even making another account didn't change it, and there's other issues there, and then yeah.
And then the issue hit me where I needed to upgrade my graphics driver to the unstable beta version of the driver that was out, just to play the game, because it kept throwing up an error saying oh, it's recommended that you download the most recent update, which that was a lie. It wasn't the most recent update, because the beta version should not be the most recent update, quote unquote. I'm doing a lot of quotes here. But yeah, that's what I had to do. And then I finally got in with Martin, but we still couldn't get Sam in. So Blood Hunt was kind of a bust for the three of us.
Yeah.
But me and Sam played some more on the PS5 after that, and nearly got a win till I got shafted.
And then that was the end of your affair.
Yeah.
Mine sort of still is ongoing in a way. I will play some more of it at some point.
You fell out with it at one point, though.
Oh, I fell out with it big time at one point, and then I played 4 games in a row and got a kill in each game, and then I loved it again. Of course, every game I've ever had since then now, I've been totally wiped out in the first instance. So, but take away from that, overall, as a game, I can see why people would enjoy it, but there's a lot of problems in it now.
I think, for me, it just doesn't do anything new. Yeah, it's just the same. It's a different dress for the same Battle Royale formula.
Yeah. Some of the character classes were interesting. I feel like especially when we play together paired correctly, that's when we did well, with your straightforward attack and my sort of more support of healing and just throwing rounds out there to try to suppress people. So I feel like they did get the dynamic of the emphasis on working with different classes in a way. That's what they might as well. They call them archetypes.
Don't you think that other Battle Royale games do classes better than it, though? I don't know. I'd take Lifeline from Apex over fucking whatever the hell the archetype was called on Blood Hunt, any day.
Yeah, Yeah, I'm not gonna say like disagree with that because it's true. Like Apex did a solid job. Fortnite doesn't even have
There's no
have
classes.
classes, so that's completely out the window. But no, you are right. Yeah. Well, I mean, though, with Blood is that's at least one aspect of a battle royale. If you're gonna add it, they did like get well. Not saying it's the best thing on earth, but I feel like it meshed together pretty well. But also on a real note for Bloodhunt, if anyone ever asks or listens or wonders, turn off crossplay. Especially if you're playing on console, because otherwise you're just going to get thrown into a mouse and keyboard lobby and get absolutely wrecked.
I don't know. I mean, yes, but also, like, we're still in, like, the first few weeks of it releasing. So I feel... And I don't think it's got legs, I'll be honest. So, in, like, a couple of months from now, I feel like crossplay is going to be the only way to play. Like, there won't be a big enough player base. I mean,
they've got work.
Hopefully, I'm wrong.
Oh, hopefully, yeah. Like, I'll still be supporting it and playing it and giving it time. But I feel like when they were testing, they tested quite heavily on the PC side, and even then, not enough. Despite the fact they had like nearly a year's worth of betas and alphas.
Yeah.
And as for console testing, I'm pretty sure I've only heard of there was one closed test. So I feel like the PlayStation side of it got shafted in a way. It's just funny how on all the announcement posters for the trailers it says about exclusively available on PlayStation until at least, and then it's like the 31st of October 2023. So that implies there that Sony's bought in exclusivity.
Yeah. I wonder how well it's going to do for them in that time frame. Like, I'll be interested to see the Xbox numbers on day one.
Well, the biggest complaint people had when it did come out, when it got first announced, is especially from that side of the aisle, like, was the Xbox side saying, "Where's ours?"
Oh yeah, I mean that always happens with exclusives. It's
It was like, but then when I look at it now, it's a free-to-play game, and I'm like, why is it only exclusive? Like, what's going? It's like there's an arena battle game. It's called like Sentry something of Ashes, and you ride dragons, and you fight with dragons, and that's come out of like an early access period onto PC and Xbox. It's going to PS5, but they've said it's not coming out yet.
Century Age of Ashes.
Yeah,
is it?
That's the one.
Ooh.
Do you remember when was it Xbox bought like a year of exclusivity of I think it was Rise of the Tomb Raider?
Oh,
and then when it finally came out on PlayStation, nobody gave a fuck. Like, because a fucking year of exclusivity is insane.
6 months is okay, but a year isn't.
Yeah.
I think all exclusivity is just stupid.
Oh yeah.
But
because
the year is the worst. I would say the minimum personally where I'd feel like you could at least. I don't know. I'm not a marketing person, so I don't even understand the concept of why you would want to do it. You'd think like, oh, if it's going to be there for like a year, the only way you can play it, buy a console. It's the only way you can play it. People don't do that for these kind of games when it's going to come out a year later. They know it's not worth spending the £500 or whatever it's just to get the console.
Especially not a free-to-play game.
Yeah, especially not a free-to-play game. You know, people get it when they get these certain consoles for these games. It's for like God of War and Spider-Man. You know, PS4 and stuff. God of War, Spider-Man. You know, Horizon. Like these games, but you need more than just the one. Yeah. You know, you need a couple. Unless you're doing something like Nintendo, where like the Switch was saved because the Wii U, because the whole company was saved because of the Wii U's bad performance till Mario Kart 8 came out. you know? And they just shot us because people started buying it to play the latest Mario Kart. So it's people buy it for fully exclusive titles.
Yeah.
So what's the purpose of making something exclusive for a year? Because no one in their right mind anyway would go buy a console just for a year worth of that game.
The famous words of Mr. Krabs: money.
Money.
Money!
Yeah, I'm not a marketing person, so I don't see where the money is. But I'm clearly missing something is all I'm saying. So it's just weird. I could only see exclusivity working for like 3 months to award people to do it. If you're getting constant exclusive deals, so any single person looking at both consoles knows for like any single game that they've been interested in for the past like 3 years or 4 years or something has always been out 3 months earlier on a certain console, then sure I could see them going and getting it more than the year, but they'd have to do it with so many more titles than just free to play.
But
or a random title that's not doing well.
In weird ways, like one example I found is Rockstar has. It's not even an exclusivity; it's like a partnership's exclusivity. They have a deal with Sony, the Rockstar, and it's to do with Grand Theft Auto. And so far, like all they've seemed to have done with it was GTA is obviously multi-platform, always will be. But when they released the PlayStation 5 edition of GTA 5, it feels weird saying that considering when that game first came out. Like, it feels really weird to say it like that. And obviously, like, the online and the story is now separate. Like, the online is standalone. And they both came out the same day. They all came out at the same time on all platforms, whereas on the PlayStation in the months leading up to the release of GTA 5 Enhanced, as they called it, you could get like £7 worth of in-store currency for GTA, the GTA dollars. So that was one way the deal worked, and another way was that when the Grand Theft Auto Online standalone came out, it was free on PlayStation 5 for the first 3 months, and then when it goes, it's like £17.
Right.
But in a way to similarly sort of mitigate the fact they had that deal with Sony, they then put it on the Xbox and sold it at half price anyway.
Yeah.
So it was like, right, okay.
Yeah, I guess the same as now. You can get like Death Stranding on Steam, Horizon on Steam. All these others when they were supposed to be exclusives as well.
Yeah.
It's weird.
And people are still asking for that Bloodborne PC port.
Yeah. Do you know there's that one which I would actually play? Or be able to play. Funny. Granted, I want to play the other two still.
That's Blood Hunt.
Yeah, that was the whole Blood incident. Didn't go well, so we just abandoned the thing. And mine's still installed, but I won't play it solo. I'll just be with someone.
Yeah.
So
Now, the third game, the most important one that we've all been playing together because I convinced you suckers to join me on it. Earth Defense Force 4.1. I want to hear what you guys have to say about this game because I know it's incredible. I just want to hear how wrong or right you guys are.
Right.
Okay, go on, Sam.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, fine, okay. Earth Defense Force. Now, I know I originally first had a little sampling of it with you years ago on the PlayStation.
Yes.
No,
I have been chilling this game for a very long time.
It's been a lot. Yeah, it has. But then I went and bought 5 out of my own volition, which was a shock. I feel like whoever made the game was experiencing... Whoever designed the game was experiencing a combination of a really bad fever dream, dehydration, and some sort of hallucinogenic trip. And do you know what? I love it.
Correct answer.
Like, this game is insane, but I love it. And I get a lot of joy out of playing it. And I'm feeling happy now talking about it.
the best bit is that we're only on mission 11, 13,
Yep.
one of the two,
Yeah.
of like, I think it's 200 some missions. And it only gets more batshit insane. Obviously, I don't want to spoil any of it, but you guys like spoiled some by looking up trailers of other games and stuff like that. But there's more.
Wait, there's more.
There's more than you think.
But wait, and it's this series has been running since like the PS2 era, I believe, and it has gone completely under everybody's radar.
Yeah. You look, there's 5 and there's 6. Like, Jesus, why is there so many?
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Like, I remember when you told me about it, and I was like, "Oh, Earth Defense Force," and I just looked up Earth Defense Force, and then I was like, "Which one?" You was like 4.1, and I was like, "What? There's more?"
The best bit is, I don't even think there's a 4. Like, usually games are like, oh, this is Resident Evil 1.5 because it's a beta for Resident Evil 2 or whatever. Or it's like, oh, this is so-and-so 4.5 because it's the release of 4 with extra shit. There isn't even a 4. They just called this 4.1.
They just definitely like. But basically, whatever they're taking, I want to take when I'm working on a game.
Yes.
Like,
well, I want to take it in general. I just want it like in an oxygen mask.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Just whatever they're shilling, we're buying on this front. It's just crazy that it's a franchise that's survived. It's because it's got such a like. To be fair, it has got a pretty dedicated fan base.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who are passionate about it.
And rabid.
and they keep coming back to it, and I think it's brilliant.
Also, I just realised we didn't actually explain what it is. So, Earth Defense Force
it's
is
crap.
like it's third person, I guess you'd call it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Third person shooter where you giant bugs have attacked the Earth. Giant bugs and aliens have attacked the Earth again. And you play one of 4 classes that's trying to stop them. You can also play co-op, I think up to like 16 people.
What?
I could be wrong about that, but I think it's up to 16 people.
Yeah.
And the 4 classes are, you've got a Ranger, who is kind of your typical grunt. He doesn't really do anything special, he can roll, but he's going to get you like your shotguns, your rocket launchers, your machine guns, all your typical shit. You can also use vehicles. You've got Air Raider, speaking of vehicles, he's like kind of the support. So he'll get a really shit primary weapon, but he can call in like airstrikes, missiles.
Oh, damn, that missile. That time.
Yeah, he can call in mechs, like underground spider vehicles, tanks, bikes, all this cool shit. He also gets like healing guns and these things called guard stations, which are like a pylon that he puts down, and you have to stay within a radius, and you'll get boosted defense, stuff like that. There's the Fencer class, who's like big, brutish, slow as fuck guy who gets all of the big guns to play with, like missile launchers and chain guns and all the good stuff.
It's beautiful.
And there's the Wing Diver, who is objectively the best class because she can fly. And her whole thing is that she's got a lot of laser weapons, but also she's got like an energy meter, where some weapons will use that energy meter to reload, or they'll just use it directly instead of ammo, and flying will use the energy meter as well. So there's those 4 classes. You can be any combination of which in co-op, which leads to some very interesting team-ups. And yeah, it's basically about running around in a PS2-ass looking world at a high frame rate, killing shitloads of bugs. And I mean shitloads. They fucking fill that screen with bugs and robots and aliens. And
They're not small, they're all giant ants,
yeah,
to clarify. It's Starship Troopers.
yes, exactly. But they also just look like ants.
Yeah.
Like, they're not these intimidating Starship Trooper aliens. They just look like straight up ants.
Yep.
And spiders. Oh yeah, if you have arachnophobia, do not play the game.
No, you won't be able to play it.
I have arachnophobia, and I get very nervous during each mission.
But we're forcing them to play it, so it's okay.
Yeah,
Nobody's stopping the viewers at home.
It's called facing one's fear. It isn't going so well, because every time we stop playing, I think, thank God for that, especially when it's a spider level. No, actually, that's harsh. It's only when we've done a spider level, and I've just thought to myself, well, thank God that's over. Any other time when it's like just the ants and stuff, I'm having a blast. Like,
Yeah, we're currently like stuck. It's fair to say we're stuck, isn't it?
yeah.
We've only had a couple of attempts, it's fine.
I suppose. On the level with like these flying drone guys, but they're not hard to kill. But if you hit them slightly with any weapon, they'll start like spinning off in one direction, and then it's hard to like keep up your aiming on them. But also, this mothership is just like spawning fucking shitloads of them.
There's probably a good 500, and they do a lot of damage. If they did a lot of damage, you'd be fine. We would have done it already. But it's the fact that you get hit once, and like I'm the flying class, and I'm like 180 health, I think, max, and I lose like 70 to one hit.
Yeah, it also like slows you down when you get hit. If you're on the ground, it'll like slow your walking speed to a crawl, which is extra shit because I'm the fencer, the big guy who can barely fucking move as it is. So I literally crawl to a stop. It's almost Serious Sam-esque in how much shit they decide to pack on screen. It's the most bizarre Japanese fucking
Game ever.
Yeah. Shit show.
It's to anyone who does listen to the podcast and actually like thinks, ooh, I might like look into Earth Defense Force. We're playing 4.1, and yeah, my opinion is really good. It has no right being as good as it is.
No.
Because it should be absolutely terrible. It should be something you never look at. But I want to play again. We already talked about playing it after this podcast. Talk about playing it again, going through it all. And I want to play more and go through all of the levels and just keep playing it. And I think there's the constant like progression because you go and you're getting weapon boxes spawn out of the enemies and like armor boxes. So there's always upgrades, and you never know what you get. Like what weapon you're going to get, how good it's going to be. Yeah. And then you find a way you like to play and just go through. So it's just constant destruction.
Yes.
So they've just made it really well for something that even on paper don't really make sense that it would be good, but it is just fun. I don't know how someone could just not like it enough to play quite a bit.
I think I said it while me and Sam were playing, but it's essentially a B game. You know how there are like B movies and they are generally bad? It is a B game.
Yeah.
And it is beautiful. I can't tell if it's self-aware or self-serious, because some of the lines of dialogue are ridiculous.
Yeah. But that's what makes it fun.
Any off the top of my exactly. I can't remember any off the top of my head, but it's my God, just look up gameplay of it. It's so good.
One voice line I like that always keeps coming up. Like you walk in with some EDF soldiers at the beginning usually, and they die pretty quick.
Oh, yeah.
But like you're running with them, and they start they're chatting to each other, and then they go, "So, where did you get married?" And then you would assume that they would have a response to the question. They don't. They have a response to just your other response for something. So they're saying like, "Where did you get married?" It's like, I don't know, or for vengeance, or like things like that, and it doesn't make any sense.
It's like really disjointed conversations.
Yeah,
like, I feel
that
like
somehow flow, but they don't. Yeah.
I feel like there's meant to be a natural progression to the conversation, but whether we're like moving too fast or killing things too fast, it moves on to a different conversation during that conversation. So they end up having these absolutely fucking ridiculous conversations about like suggested threesomes.
Yeah.
I think my favourite line I've come across, because the way I have it set up on the PC when I play, is that for some reason just the AI, other people's dialogue is still like really audible more than anything. So we could be blasting away, the best times we was blasting away shooting spiders. And all I heard was one of the AI soldiers go, "What's for dinner tonight?" And I was like,
Yeah.
what?
It's also a lot of screaming. Like
Fried bugs. Yeah.
I recommend playing it with headphones because there are a lot of female screams, and they
sound incredibly wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially playing as like the wing glider.
Yep.
Close to the glider was just It's like,
Yep.
okay, calm down.
Just getting
So-
absolutely pummeled.
But yeah, verdict on EDF.
It is good, and it has
I
no
give
right
it
to
a
be good.
solid thumbs up. I
Solid
love it.
thumbs up. There we go. I recommend everybody try it.
Yes, that is one thing. That's why I brought it, like it has no right being as good as it is. Because you look at pictures, like, ugh, they look good. If you look at gameplay, it's kind of sure, maybe. Pick up a friend, say we're fucking playing this, and just go and just do it. Don't think about it. Just go try it. And like, yeah, I was not disappointed with it. Definitely.
Right. What else have you been playing, Sam? Out of interest.
That's it. I mean, we'll talk about an attempt in a few moments.
An attempt.
Yes, it's our next topic.
Yes, but of course. Right. I don't think there's anything else.
No.
No.
I see you already. Don't delete it. Don't delete it. To anyone watching, we have a PDF, like not PDF, a Google Doc up of like what the conversation topics are, and I wrote in my game to play, and Nick is against this game, even though it's a great one in the series, and that is Resident Evil 6. And that's my game I've been playing. I played it today because it was on sale on Steam before, and it's like it was the game that got me into the Resident Evil series. So I told my mate FD, and I'm like, we're getting a game. I'm like, it's here, get it. And then like, he was the one who showed me the game. He was the one that got me into the series. He was the one that came over and helped me get through Resident Evil 1 and things.
Right.
So it was really cool to go in and actually play that game again with him. Because at the time, I couldn't, like... I think we played like a little bit. I think we played through one campaign.
Right.
But he'd already done like all the campaigns multiple times. I was kind of like, I've got other games to play. Maybe not right now. I remember that happening once. But it kind of just dropped off for a bit, so I started playing it on myself and stuff and played it with my mate Matty at that point. But it's been great to go back on and play it because it is a good game. And I will die on this hill that Resident Evil 6 is a good game.
I will give RE6 one thing. It is batshit. Like, even at the start of the game, you're running away from a crashing fucking helicopter. If I remember
it's a jet comes down and crashes into the like road.
Spoilers.
And there's
somehow you manage to run away from it.
Well, yeah, so like no, it lands just in front of you. It's nowhere near you at the time, but it crashes and like starts breaking the road because it's like one of the ones that's suspended up.
Right.
So it breaks down, but there's loads of cars there. But obviously, it's full of rockets and it's on fire and stuff. So then it's like run. So you just run, and you're running towards like a helicopter that's to the side. That's where the helicopter comes into it for you.
Right.
And you're just sprinting away as the explosions are happening behind you. It's very cinematic, and I quite like it.
Not over the top. It reminds me of the Resident Evil movies. Maybe that's why I don't like it.
That's probably it's no more crazy than punching a boulder. It's good that there's a lot.
That was essential.
It was essential. I don't blame them. Though. A lot of people give the mick out of that, but it's like, I'm sorry, you're holding back a big boulder, and let's say you have the physical strength to hold this back.
The thing
you
is,
sit there and just keep pushing. You'll get pissed. Fuck off, pal.
Okay.
Like, I get it.
The boulder punching is a crescendo. All of Resident Evil 6 is a crescendo. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Too much shit going on.
It's an assault on the senses.
Exactly.
And that's Resident Evil series, like, as a series, it seems. Like, the first, obviously, like, 3 were very, like, horror-esque. Like, first one, fucking scary as all hell.
Yes.
And then you have 4 that got to very much a weird action movie. Constantly find, I think it was like a Russian guy, wasn't it? Attacking Leon with a knife all the time. And it's like you fight him.
Krauser. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was batshit crazy. All the fights against him were very like a B action movie. You know, with all the really over the top scenes of action. It was like that, and that's one of the joys of the Resident Evil games as they went through for the other 3, which is just make them crazy in that way.
Yeah.
But no, I played it again, and I'm already sat here, and I've been thinking about it all day. Like, I want to go back on the game. I quit at the point because like he had to go, like my mate had to go do something. This is his own business, I'm saying it, but he had to go do this thing. So I'm like, all right, so we stopped. It's a checkpoint. I'm like, oh, do I go and load it up? And like, do I check where the chapter list is and where the checkpoint list is? Do I jump and play more? Go through it all, or do I jump into another campaign? Go back. I'm excited to get this whole time. Like, I want to play more of it. That I'm going to be looking at his schedule like tomorrow and be like, trying to book more in with him.
I'm glad somebody in the world enjoys Resident Evil 6.
It's me, there's a mate, and then there's also Maddie because we played through that 6 times or something for each character, because there's also like certain collectibles in the game that you have to be a certain character for because you get split up here and there. Like in like a cutscene you get moved off certain ways, and there's a collectible down like that certain path for that character. I think it happened it only happens like once or twice.
Wait, so sorry, just so if you're playing in co-op and your partner gets the collectible, does it
don't
not
get it for you?
count for you?
No, don't get it count for you now.
Wow.
But it's still
awesome.
Don't count for you. It's the journey quite easy to find. We went through the first chapter and found them all in that time. I think even when I played it the first time through and I went through all the campaigns, I think I only missed like 3. So like some of them were just stupidly hidden. You know, like it's like right at the end, you know, before like you trigger the end cutscene. If you look around the side, it's there and crap like that.
Yeah, I hate that shit.
Yeah, it's like you had like 1 or 2 of those, I think. But no, overall, I do really like it. Leon voiced by Matt Messer, Helena voiced by Laura Bailey, with Troy Baker in there. So like,
The voice director was Liam O'Brien as well.
Yeah, see, so I was like, it's all the talent. The talent is there, but it's a genuinely good game. There's a lot more like things that even because since then we had the Revelation series, you know. I played both Revelations games. I liked the first one. I thought it was cool because it was like kind of my 3rd Resident Evil game, I think. And then like played Resident Evil 2 with Revelations 2 with FD, and went through like the whole campaign with Claire and Moira there and stuff. And that was then fun. It was mainly fun playing with a friend. It wasn't as good, but like Resident Evil 6 is probably like, and I'm gonna say it right here on the podcast, one of my favorites.
Good.
That's right.
It's okay to be wrong.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's okay. But yeah,
I'm glad someone does like it.
Yeah, it's fun, very cinematic, action paced. It's great, like combat. I think the only problem now that I've had with like Matty when we tried to play it like 6 months ago, or something, or a year ago again, is using like with the controller time. It's like, oh, it's just really like feels too clunky. And I'm like, yeah, I can see that. Because like they had a weird like when you move in the thumbstick, it was very much the same speed almost. No matter how much you move the thumbstick, nearly it felt like.
Yeah.
So, but like there's tolerance to it to move from like 0 to 100 was very small in the thumbstick gap, so it's very bad. But now on the PC, where you got like actual control, or like easier control over like your aim, I don't even feel like it's clunky at all. To me, it's just the key bindings, but I always struggle with key bindings in PC games anyway. So I don't know if that's just I don't know if that's just that. Like, where's the buttons? Yeah,
what does this button do?
But it's great. You can dive around. Like you can jump and roll and crawl across the ground, like on your back, shooting at things, pushing things else, jumping, kicking things, sneak attacks. Obviously, melee weapons, kicking them on the ground, beating the hell out of things as a group. Like, we knock a zombie down to the ground and me and nephew just go from just stamping on the thing
Oh yeah,
into the dice.
definitely.
So no, overall, it's just a good action game and a lot of fun. And on the PC, plays so much better than console. It's crazy.
I mean, that's kind of a given.
There's certain games do play better with console with controllers. You know, like if you're looking at like the
Not
Rocket.
shooters.
No, we're not really shooters. No, not unless you have a crazy aim assist, and then you're gonna do well. But yeah, no, most like I feel like fighting games, side by side fighting games.
Oh yeah,
Does better with controllers. They have like
and like a Fable,
racing games. Yeah, like a good Fable game.
a Darksiders. Basically, anything that isn't involving aiming.
Nothing with precision. If you need something with looking, yeah, it's very rare to find a good one on console that way. Well, not a good one. They're always good, but one that is the same or better on console versus PC. Yeah.
So, have you been playing anything else besides?
Oh yeah, we did Elden Ring. Me and Maya again. There's always
yeah.
little bits of Elden Ring here and there.
How's that going?
We pushed to a point in the story. We did someone's like side quest, so now we've like opened up a new ending that you can get. Like that's part of the finish. We have to do like one other thing, I think.
Right.
Until like that's set in stone that will happen. The ending, or we can choose that ending. Obviously, it's Dark Souls. You can pick the ending. But we had a hilarious thing that I do want to talk about. It was invaders again, just being dumb. There's dumb invaders of the week. We had an invader who came in, and I think he had I put character names on because I like to see character names, and it was like lots of stars. So I think he actually like had a bad name that they not muted but censored. And you know how it's in Elden Ring, you can sit in a bush and it counts as you being stealthy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it seems that it does that for invaders as well. Because we were sat in a bush and we sat around in this one area. We went to this area and there was no possible way. It was a very small area on this map. And the invaders get a reticular marker where you are, even. And I was sat in this bush. And he ran around trying to find me for 15 minutes.
Oh wow.
And it's not an exaggeration, because when we eventually broke out and tried and killed him, we killed him in less than a minute, and I looked and I met him 16 minutes ago according to the Xbox. So a minute to kill him, so I'm calling it 15. I was sat in this bush and he would run around past the bush and I would just move slightly through the bush and around, and he was just there for 15 minutes. And I'm like, what the fuck is this guy doing? But he was one of the worst places because he would literally run through my bush at me, so I'm like, you can't see people, and there must be something wrong with it. But no, I went out and tried to backstab him, and then just as he moved, because he was sat like on this rock right next to my bush for like good 20 seconds. But
I wonder what that looks like from his perspective. Then, like, I wonder if you straight up disappear.
I think you do. You have to do, because you also, it seems, will disappear as you exit the bush, like for a second or two maybe.
Right.
To give time, because I walked out of the bush and around him before sneaking, and he didn't see me. Because I was just trying to see where the edge was for his detection. But yeah, no, he would just constantly back and forth in the area, just trying to figure out for ages. Until like, I don't remember even how it happened. I think it was sat in the bush, and then he was on the rock, and eventually just turned and like snapped looking at me because he locked onto me. I'm like, oh, there he is. So I came out and just beat the hell out of him.
Oh.
So, but yeah, like we're doing a lot more of Elden Ring. It's still been fun. I'm just sick of invaders. I literally had the point a bit ago as well where we started the game. I load in. I'm like, cool, let's go, and I like use the like remedy thing to summon the friend, and I got and that opens you up to invaders as well. I got invaded before my sign even appeared. And I had to then summon him, and as he got in, the guy was here, and then we fought him. And it was just a crap show. It's just like, that's how many invaders you get. You get them all the time. And I guess when you can't really play with friends very easily.
Like perfect time where people have finished the game now, so they'll be like going through and getting loads of good gear and all that stuff like we talked about last week. How imbalanced the PvP always is in these games.
Yeah, they
So,
want to try to get good gear and then try new builds and stuff. Like, I'm going against this person because it's very easy to reset your build.
yeah.
So it's like, oh, let's go and do all that all the time, and it's just like, guys, just like grow up, leave, go do something else. It was great with Dark Souls when there was actually like the factions, like I talked about last week. We could specifically go do PvP. But at this point now, I'm stuck with waiting for the invader to come find me. They come along, and they either don't bow and they run straight and attack, and then we beat the hell out of them, or they do a bow, and then I beat them up, and then they go and heal. It's like, oh, is healing on the table now? Okay, sure, healing's on the table. We're not having a duel. I fight them more, then they run away again, and then they just try to go hide by people, or all this other stuff that I end up spending about 5 to 10 minutes dealing with every single invader, unless they just bum rush me. And I'm so fed up. Because I only play for like a few hours, like once a week. And an hour that is dealing with invaders, because there's that many. So now I'm done with it. I don't care. We just run over and beat the hell out of them and move on. I've hit that point of I'm fed up with invaders because there's just so many.
I feel like Elden Ring / Dark Souls would be the game to benefit from crossplay. Like, there's no aiming advantage on PC. Well, I mean,
there's no.
use a bow, I guess. But everyone's basically on a level playing field. So it kind of blows my mind that there isn't crossplay.
Yeah, and there's still hackers on the console and stuff. Because we had an invader before, like this, like a couple of months ago. Come and drop he dropped like 20 Lord's runes for like Matty and then left. Well, he didn't leave. Matty picked it up and then he was like, oh, let's give those runes. I'm like, oh, these like worth like 50k each. So Matty let him kill him for it. You know? It was like a soul for the souls sort of thing.
I watched a Dark Souls 3 YouTuber, although now he's like an Elden Ring YouTuber, that does a lot of PvP stuff called Chase the Bro. And he has invaded a few worlds where like the host is hacking, but they've made it so like it's a mini boss fight. So they'll act as phases of a boss fight would act, and then suddenly bring out like new moves and all this shit, and those are usually really, really fucking cool. That's the only time I'm like, oh yeah, hackers are fun. Other times it's like, oh yeah, they teleport you to them so they can backstab you immediately.
Yeah. I had someone who was a damage hacker, even on the Xbox, come and invade my world before.
Yeah.
So it's like I go in and I have 1,600 health. I have one of the Elden Lord's armors, and it's like one of the best armors in the game. Like I really got my equipment load up to use it, and like I can tank anything, pretty much. There's not been a single boss that's been able to like get me like. There's only been this new dragon that we found that's managed to like get me to where I'm like a quart health.
Yeah.
Full, and he comes over and does like a quick little jab with like a glintstone like spear. Now Matt is a magic caster. We know what fucking spells he has, what Ashes of War use and stuff. And he hit me with it, and he got rid of my health.
Oh, God.
Or 1,600 health in one move, when it's like we're only level like 90s. So it's like, so he had to have the intelligence, like high enough level to use it, have the equipment, wear them more properly, and do fast rolls. And whatever attack step, and that was it. He also did another move that was like, it was a little tiny thing that he flicked over. That was like a really quick damage cast. Like Matty's used that spell, it does like maybe, I don't know, 100 damage or something. Matty has like 800 odd health, and it one-shot him. So like we've had that happen before. So that's the problem with like invaders. They either come in with hacks, which is very, very rare. They could come in with hacks. They come in, they don't want to duel, they just want to try kill like Matty or me, depending on who's in whose world.
Yeah.
Or they just run in and they're like, I'm going to do this same move over and over again. Which don't make them good, because the moment they can't adapt to a strategy. Come with a strategy against it, you go and just beat the hell out of them. So it's like, I'm just sick of bad invaders. So I'm just done with it completely. But we've been playing that and making good progress.
Yeah.
I'm almost been able to use this great sword that requires 38 strength. I'm like 5 levels off, I think, now, to have the strength to use it.
Nice.
Just to be fun with it. But yeah, that's all my games across this last week that I've played. In EDF Resi 6 now, and then Elden Ring. Besides Apex, which is a general thing, randomly, once every now and again.
Yeah. It's the best thing for a battle royale game.
Yeah. Never worth talking about, but played it every now and again.
The occasional player.
Yeah.
This.
And now on to the crux of the matter from last week.
Okay, so.
Oh yeah, just to briefly sum up my thing. I've been playing Dead Space on stream, and I just finished Land of the Dead, and it was shit. Right.
Oh, no.
Dead Space.
It's a very good game.
Dead Space is good. Yes.
How do you feel about the remake?
I am skeptical but excited.
And how does the port feel of Dead Space that you're playing?
In a lot of ways, bad. I don't want to talk about this too much, but basically, yeah, it was a port of the 360 game, and I had to straight up download a DLL file that improves mouse sensitivity. Otherwise, it is dog shit. And there's like acceleration, and there's what do you call it? Like slow down, I guess you could call it.
Yeah. I know what you mean. I don't know the word.
So like when you move the mouse, it'll towards the end of your looking, it'll slow down.
Yes.
Rather than coming to like a complete stop, like raw mouse input would. It does that. And also if you walk on this like shit, this organic shit that's on the floor, the sensitivity suddenly fucking skyrockets and it gets insane. But other than that, I haven't really had many problems with it. In the menus, the mouse is really slow to move around, but like I don't spend that much time in the menus, so who gives a fuck? And all of the like in-game menus, like the inventory, that's all done with the arrow keys, which isn't ideal. I prefer WAS and D, but it works. It's fine. And that's about it.
I have to
Playing that on
admit,
stream.
I am enjoying watching Dead Space be played.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I know. I just can't
game.
wait for you to do more. Like, I need more.
Tomorrow, maybe.
Yay.
Yeah.
Right. So,
This hurts.
onto the player's choice. So last week we rolled a die, and I believe it landed on Sam.
You did?
And you chose for us all to play a little-known game called Sea of Thieves,
Did?
and that didn't work out.
We haven't even played together yet.
No.
We attempted to,
We did.
but yeah, I'll let someone else talk on this.
My issue in the matter was my console told me at first I had Sea of Thieves installed, so I clicked on it, thought, ooh, I've saved an hour. Then it immediately says you need to install this game, so I let the installation run. And, did the update hunky-dory, loaded it up, bang, Sea of Thieves needs an update, 10 gig. And in the process of all this, Nick, your microphone, when you was coming in to do the party chat, it sounded like a vacuum was going off.
Yeah, there's something wrong with like the Xbox. Well, we assume the Xbox overlay on PC. So whenever I join an Xbox party, I either sound like a vacuum or a fire alarm.
Yeah,
So that's fun.
Yeah, it was,
seemingly
it was annoying.
Martin was the only person who had no problems.
Just like with Blood Hunt.
Yeah.
Yep.
Games left me.
And then, what was yours, Nick? Didn't you realise you had to then actually reinstall it? It wouldn't even acknowledge the server.
Yeah, I've had this issue before where you launch the game up and when you press like start game, it says that these servers are unavailable, even though they're very much not, because Martin's in the game at this point, waiting for me. So the way that I got around that before was completely reinstalling the game.
Yeah.
Now, I should mention that I have not tried the game since reinstalling it this time around, but hopefully it works for whatever that's worth. So we've been talking about going back and
Trying it.
yeah, giving it another try without Xbox Party, because apparently there's like a crew chat. I don't know how that works, but hopefully it works like every other fucking game's voice chat. Only maybe less shit.
But yeah,
One can
like
hope.
I was, yeah, it would be nice to get back into that.
Yeah.
Like immediately, I guess is the word, but that's a totally different matter.
So yeah, because of the issues we had, we're gonna delay the quote-unquote review, feedback, whatever you want to call it, by another week.
Yeah.
So we will have feedback next week, and we will have a new entrant lined up for the Players Talk, Players Choice even.
Aye, Shabai.
Oh yeah.
Aye. And that's about it for Players Choice Talk, I'm afraid.
Unfortunately, yeah.
And now we come floating back to
To the news.
the news!
News.
So, Martin, Sam, you know that one launcher on PC with all the games, you just couldn't live without it. It's like, it's a chat room, it's just got every single game you could imagine.
Well, which one's the Steam?
No, the Bethesda launcher.
Yeah.
Bethesda has a launcher?
Yes.
Not anymore, the fucking dirt. Well,
Technically.
next Wednesday, they won.
Yeah.
The 11th.
Yeah, Wednesday the 11th of May.
2022, if you're
Yes,
listening.
they won't have a launch anymore.
I want
And
to
I am not
emphasise-
lying when I say that I did not know Bethesda even had a game launcher. It's not even a lie, because I didn't know until I read this news article here put up saying it was shutting down, and I'm like, they even had one.
I think the only reason I knew is I'm pretty sure Fallout 4 forces you to install it. It's what it
okay.
does. Like with Max Payne 3, it forces you to install the fucking Rockstar one.
Yes, it does.
But yeah,
Well-
the upside of this shutdown is they've added a bunch of like classics, I guess you can call them, like old titles to Steam,
Yeah.
and a bunch of them are free, such as this list we have here, which is
Wait, those are free? Ooh.
yep, the Elder Scrolls Arena, the very first game, the Elder Scrolls 2 Daggerfall, the Elder Scrolls Adventures Redguard, an Elder Scrolls Legend Battlespire, and the best Elder Scrolls game, Wolfenstein Enemy Territory. I'm pretty sure Enemy Territory was just like a mod for Return to Castle Wolfenstein.
It was, and they just bought the
Yeah, which
the hired
I'm
the
all for.
mod developers.
I remember enjoying Enemy Territory.
Yeah, at least Bethesda's going to save some money then, with not having to pay for their own launcher and maintenance and servers and all that. Put it on Steam. There you
Well,
go.
that's going to be a problem now that they've been fucking. They were acquired, weren't they?
Yes.
Am I making this up?
Microsoft
I
acquired
thought
them.
that, yeah.
Yes, Microsoft, that's the one. Okay, I wanted to say someone else. But yeah, a few more upshots. You can transfer games that you own on the Bethesda launcher to Steam, which I feel like they didn't have to do, so it's kind of cool of them that they have done that. Like, they're straight up supporting that. And this one is a bit hit or miss. Some save games will transfer automatically, but games like Deathloop is one example. You have to transfer those saves manually. Don't know how the hell you do that. I'm sure you can find an article online somewhere about it. And Doom Eternal actually needs a conversion tool. I guess Steam uses like different save formats for games or something. So you straight up need to convert the your Doom Eternal save game into compatibility with Steam.
Yes.
But other than that, it's pretty positive, I guess you call it. Like, getting all those games for free, all those old Elder Scrolls games, is huge.
Yes.
It is.
I don't know how many people will give a shit at this point, but it's huge for me.
Yes, huge for me as well, 'cause, like,
I want to play them all.
Yeah, like, I started with Morrowind.
Yeah.
That was the first one I heard of. And then, yeah, to now have like, oh yeah, there's these other games that you've heard of before, but you never got to play and didn't know they existed until a lot later. Yeah, it's I'm definitely going to be checking them out.
I'm into it.
Pretty sure Daggerfall, it's either Daggerfall or Arena, is like the largest open world in the Elder Scrolls series. Granted, it's going to be a bunch of emptiness, like fucking Morrowind, but still, that's still like quite the boast.
Yeah, so Arena's free, Daggerfall is free, so 1 and 2 are free. The Elder Scrolls Adventures Redguard is £4.89.
So
and
like $8, $10 ish.
yeah, something like that. The Elder Scrolls Legend Battlespire is the same price, $4.89.
Right, okay. So they're not all free.
Let's look at Wolfenstein. Enemy Territory is free though.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Add it to the list. But yeah. Should be interesting then.
Yeah.
Maybe a small gap on there. Maybe they'll just start putting, like, just uploading them all to Steam from here on. So it'll just be easier.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Unless they're going to be like fucking Windows Store exclusives.
Yeah.
Good God.
Can you imagine?
That'd be horrible. That would be torture. That would be torture. Let's be honest.
And riding off of this, the Xbox and Bethesda Games Showcase is happening next month.
June 12th, 6 p.m. British time, on a Sunday.
Is there anything you guys are hoping to see?
I want my Elder Scrolls 6, to be honest. That's when anything, a bit of gameplay or something would be very nice. To know what we're looking at.
Far out still.
It still is, but you saying what we're hoping for, that was feasible.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Imagine you're going to show some Starfield.
Yes.
Starfield in it.
I also imagine they'll come out with some weird expansion again for Fallout 76.
Maybe they'll talk about the acquisition as well. Some more.
Maybe, yeah.
Part of the optimist within me wants to see something, some lick or mention of Fable, but I also doubt that's ever going to happen. I feel like Fable's a long way off.
Yeah, it's... It's yeah.
I'd be happy to see a new Gears of War.
New Gears of War. Yeah, because we had 5, and that was good. That was decent. I liked it. I liked there was a multiple choice in the game.
Was it one that actually mattered?
It seemed to do, because it really directly would affect the next game. It was basically a choice between someone living or dying. Between 2 people. You got to basically choose who lives out of 2 people.
Do you think that's going to come down to like...
I think it might come to like a vote or something. Like if maybe because it's all everyone's usually online, so they could easily look at and program in a system of taking in the data of who chose what and write it into canon. I feel more like I'm not going to say the characters. I don't want to give spoilers for Gears 5, just in case. But I feel like it's going to be a more secondary character than the other person was a secondary character.
It's always Carmine. Is it Carmine?
Yes, Carmine was it, yeah.
I was going to say, do you remember when they couldn't decide in one of the Gears of War games which Carmine to kill, so they basically let the public decide?
No, that was a vote to see if Carmine survived or not.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, because the first one was Anthony Carmine, who died first. And then they had Benjamin Carmine.
There's too many Carmines.
And then they had, I think it's Clayton Carmine in the third one.
Yeah,
I think
it's a joke.
And that was, and that was the vote was, does he live or dying. It was private. You couldn't see the results. I remember voting.
Yeah, but they outed the results afterwards.
Oh, but I never saw them. So for me, I played through
the results after.
Okay. Yeah, I waited. It's been so long. I'll happily give Gears 3 spoilers. Obviously, I think I voted for Clay to live. To be honest,
I think I
just
did.
to make it different.
But I also remember if you voted, you got given like some Gears of War avatar items for your Xbox.
Yeah,
which is why I voted.
Didn't you get a Lancer or something? I think you got a Lancer.
You got like that, but you also got a Carmine outfit.
Yes, you got the helmet. Yeah. Yes, like that was.
I forgot about them.
They've been sleeping for a long time.
Yeah.
Man's dressed up as Jon Snow.
It's not bad. But yeah, so it could do. I don't know what they're planning on doing with it, because I doubt, with it affecting the game, it didn't affect the game after, because it was raining at the end anyway. So it only affected another maybe 3 hours or something. But even then, it was only a couple of cutscenes. But I don't see them having that, because it would mean entirely new characters with entirely new dialogue, to have all this stuff and possibly different reactions to that character, depending on what option got picked at the start. I don't see that much time and investment going into Gear 6 like that. So I think they'll just go with a vote of some regard, or whatever the public mainly picked. Or they just say F all that and they do what they're going to do anyway, and just give the option for the sake of it, which is also possible. But yes, now I'm looking for some Gear 6 stuff could be cool to see.
Do you reckon they're going to say anything about Halo? Because they still haven't released the co-op mode, have they?
No, they haven't. And they've had to scrap a lot of stuff off Halo. Because a developer came out and said that they weren't happy with the roadmap they had. Which, of course, just made me think, well, no surprise, it did seem a bit like batshit and out there.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Well, I wonder if they're going to talk about a Deathloop 2 or anything like that.
Ah, yeah, I was about to put my words in the wrong position then and say I was going to be like, but Nick, that's a PlayStation game, and then I realised Bethesda.
Yeah. Have they said Deathloop's coming to Xbox?
They have. What happened is when they bought, obviously when Microsoft bought Bethesda.
Yeah.
There was the whole because Ghostwire Tokyo is made by Bethesda as well. There's Bethesda involved. So people were like, oh, but these were all announced as PlayStation only titles. What's going on? And Phil Spencer came out and basically said, yeah, these contracts of exclusivity are only for a set period, they're not forever.
Yeah.
So as soon as that exclusivity period ends, that's when we'll look at bringing them to consoles, to other platforms.
Oh, that's good. I'm all for every game, everywhere. Why not? Yeah, moving on from that. Modern Warfare 2 has been announced again.
Yeah. Can I add Assault of Injury to this one?
Go on.
I'll have to do some explaining as well, though, if you don't mind.
No, go ahead.
Activision announces the 47th Call of Duty game.
Jeez.
Yep, there's a full. It is also the 10th game to have Modern Warfare in its name.
Huh.
Now, this is how it breaks down. There is a list of the Modern Warfares. Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, Modern Warfare Reflex Edition, Modern Warfare Mobilized, Modern Warfare Remastered, Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Force Recon, Modern Warfare 2019 Reboot, and Modern Warfare 2 Reboot Sequel.
Yeah. See, I think some of those are cheap. Like the remasters. That doesn't count, but
yeah.
fine.
But technically, it's on a technicality here. But yeah, it's the 47th game. There is a big list of 47th Call of Duty games ever made. And let's just say it includes everything from PSP to Vita to GameCube to even mobile, Nintendo DS.
Yeah.
Regional exclusives as well. Yeah. But yeah, there is 46 games out there with the Call of Duty logo slapped on them. 47.
Christ.
Including the one coming out this year. And then, I suppose they're not going on to yearly now, are they? So it'll slow down a bit. What should I say that I'd announce a new Call of Duty next year? We'll start from next year. It's like, yeah, of course you won't.
Yeah, I would say Modern Warfare 2, the original one, was, in my opinion, the best Call of Duty game they've ever made.
Yeah.
So, and obviously then with the music composed by Hans Zimmer in there as well for the campaign, made it like it was absolutely fantastic. It's still something that everyone talks about, like Shepard's betrayal. It's not a spoiler because it's 2009. Fine. It's been 13 years.
Still hurts though.
It still hurts. It was one thing that I first time I felt hate for a character, and like shock for it all. I'm like, Roach and Ghost are my favorite characters back. Like, oh shit! It was literally that mission. That's why I don't call favorites. I'm cursed. But regardless, it was by far the best Call of Duty game that they've ever made, in my opinion. So to now have Modern Warfare 2 announced, I'm personally just holding off hope on it being any good, just because of that. Just because it's not gonna. I don't see it holding even a candle to the old one.
Yeah.
It's just the name on the front, and I'm seeing that now before it comes out. Because I don't think it has them to compose more. And it's not going to be, obviously, the same story. It's going to be a new one. And will it even be as good? Will it be able to hit the mark on making it like that? And I don't see it. But could be good still. It could be good. That's why you got to look into the multiplayers at this point now, because like the campaigns have been going downhill and they kept cutting them. So we'll see. Those are my thoughts on it.
Fair enough. I have no thoughts about Call of Duty.
Fair enough. I think if it was Call of Duty for zombies mode, you may have thoughts. At least a bit more than nothing.
I mean, I didn't think anything of Cold War. That had zombies.
Well, didn't that one flop?
Yep.
As much as the Call of Duty can flop, obviously. But yeah, I remember like even YouTubers just weren't playing it. Like they started it, they played like through the beta, and then they were like, "This is just bad." But this is another thing. I will go here and sing. I will come on here and say it. It's annoying because Treyarch don't make good Call of Duty games. They made Black Ops, like the Black Ops series in terms of the story was good, but the gameplay just is never as good as Infinity Ward pulls off. Every time. I'm going to stream say that's my opinion again.
Yeah, I guess I just haven't played them enough to say anything about that, because it all just feels like the same shit to me.
Which is fair, because it pretty much is for the most part. It's just, yeah, they don't. There's never anything that really changes between it. It's just more like the handling and how the guns operate. And Treyarch, I've never felt like they'd have done a good job with it. They felt clunky and weird and spongy. Spongy is the new word I've invented for that. It's literally invented for the actual the Treyarch symptom of the games. But
fair enough. I'm sure Sam will buy it and give us his opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel attacked. Yeah, that I haven't.
Are you saying you're not going to buy
it? I've got very mixed feelings about Call of Duty right now.
Yeah, I feel like we need a break from them.
After Vanguard, I'm very glad they have implemented this moving away from a yearly release.
Yeah. I forgot Vanguard was even a thing.
Same.
No one played that. No one covered it.
That's another zombies mod I ignored.
Alright. It's also the thing as well, like, didn't they go back to World War II with it, or World War One with Vanguard?
Probably.
It's like that was the whole reason, like, from when I was talking to people about Battlefield, as to why, was it 5 or 6? Well, that one flopped because it was yet again like World War One or World War Two, and it's like we already had.
It was 5, yeah, World War
Yeah.
War. But they had a co-op.
Hmm.
Co-op was fun.
Oh my god, I just looked at Vanguard. It has a 2.2 rating on Google.
You can play Snoop Dogg in Vanguard now, though. One of his, like, at the end of a match, it kind of shows a little clip of the best player of the game or whatever.
Yeah. Like,
One of
Snoop
Snoop
best
Dogg's
player.
is like, he disarms a German soldier and offers him, like, some fucking weed.
Some weed. Hell yeah.
It's so dumb. I love it.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, and that's a shame that like Call of Duty having to actually even resort to these tests like the Attack on Titan crossover, bring some dog in, and doing all these things for no more than a marketing ploy.
It comes off as very desperate.
Yeah, and that's the problem is it feels so desperate, like because they haven't performed anywhere near as well as they wanted them to. It's like, where are you putting all this money?
Thing is, who are they competing with? Like, they're not competing with fucking Battlefield, not this year.
No.
Oh,
They have been
shots fired.
You know, and like Ubisoft don't make any good shooters anymore. So not as if they compete with those. They got nothing to compete against. You know, any indie game shooter I've found has been like well over 20, 25 quid and stuff. Or 20 quid, and it's just been very indie. Very indie shooters. Like, so it's just like, what the hell are they competing? Yeah, so you're right. What are they competing with that they need to be this desperate about? I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully, Modern Warfare 2 isn't another desperate thing. I hope that they actually. I hope it's good, but I hold zero hope for it.
Well,
Is that all the news?
Yep, looks like it.
Into the list, yeah. Cool.
There is one thing I'd like to add on to the end of that. The
Sure.
store page, Steam store page for Sons of the Forest, which is the sequel to The Forest, is now live on Steam.
Yay!
Ooh,
As of like an hour and a half ago, so I just want to put that out there.
nice.
People
Sons
can
of
now
the Forest.
wishlist it, and you should, because it's going to be great. I'm not biased. I'm 100% biased.
I already have you on here as one friend wants this game.
Yep.
Fair
Right,
enough.
so, speaking of an upcoming game, well, we talked about all the upcoming games like last time, and I kind of went a bit overboard with it, so now we don't have any like upcoming games to read out. So instead, Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness, May the 6th. I believe you're going to see that, Sam.
I will definitely be seeing that.
So we can get your spoilerless review of that next time we record.
Yes.
I probably won't see it. That's just me. Don't know about you, man.
I didn't even know it was so close to being out.
Well,
May 6th. Do I have anything going on? It's a Friday. I have no going on, but I don't. No, if it's going to release, I'm not going to go release. I always like to wait for like a week or two, just because the cinema at least opens up a bit more.
yeah.
That's always a problem with going to releases for me, why I don't like them. But no, it could be cool. I'm excited to watch it at some point. But
I'm not sure if I'll get to see it within the week, but if I do, I'll have a review perfectly lined up and ready to go. But if I don't, then we'll just take the internet's reviews. Just steal them.
I mean, I've so many Marvel movies I still have yet to watch.
I can, however, give you a quick
Unlike every
review
week.
of Moon Knight because the last episode dropped today. The day
Oh,
we're
yeah.
taping this. Yeah, it was good. It's actually a Marvel-based series that for in a while that I actually enjoyed.
I kind of like that they're going with the obscure characters now. Like, The only reason I even know Moon Knight is because I got him for free on Marvel Heroes, the like MMO, Diablo-esque MMO that they did. That's the only reason I know that fucking character. And he was in Lego Marvel Superheroes, which is a fantastic game that everyone needs to play.
But yeah, it was good. What else have we got? A book. Mordekainen presents Monsters of the Multiverse.
Yes, a D&D 5e book, which
Yes.
I'm very skeptical about this book because this is the one that's going to basically make all of the playable races on an even playing field. They're getting rid of ASIs for races, the ability score improvements.
Yeah.
So, like, humans are no longer going to get +1 to everything, which is kind of the whole thing for humans.
Yeah, looking right here. Updated format that makes playable races relevant for any class on any world in the multiverse. Nope. I don't like the idea at all.
No, they are keeping, as far as I'm aware, the like race quirks. You know, like how half orcs, if they go down, they've got an ability that brings them straight back up to 1 more hit point.
Yeah.
And like turtles can have a maximum or a minimum armor class of 16 or whatever it is. They're keeping shit like that. But yeah, I really don't know how to feel about this.
If D&D Beyond Let says I'll probably just elect to ignore it.
Yeah, thankfully you can do that. So yeah, I don't think it's going to change our games much because I'm going to ignore it 100% of the time. But but yeah, it's I'll be interested to see what other people think of it, like some prolific D&D YouTubers.
Yeah, definitely. Because I want to hear some good, viable opinions on why it's good, why this is a good move. You know, because rather than come around and say, "Oh, it's a bad move," I want to hear what people think is good. I want people to turn around and tell me why it's a good thing, because they might have really good reasons that I don't see.
Yep.
Because I know, like, when it comes to, because really all the ability score improvements are just only for min-maxing purposes. Like here on the book, when I'm looking at it, it's like pre-order it now. It's telling me to make them relevant for any class. It's like you can make any relevant on any class pretty much.
Yeah,
I don't see why you can't.
Yeah. I mean, you could always just homebrew out ASIs, like race ASIs.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
It's the one thing about D&D Beyond. It's such a small thing that you could easily just get rid of it and not even matter.
Yeah.
You know, I don't get it at all as to why it's necessary to change it for like everyone if it's going to be the case.
It also says that the book includes over 250 monsters, but so books on D&D Beyond usually say that they're adding monsters if these are like going to be new monsters.
Yeah.
So I wonder if to keep with like this whole change to playable races, they're just going to be changing pre-existing monsters as well, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's over 250 monsters, but it's like
which
50 variants of goblins and like that, obviously. But
it sounds like a lot, but if on paper it is just extra variants, I don't know. We'll see. And yeah, that is it for new upcoming D&D books, etc.
Yeah.
Unless either of you got anything else to add to that. Is there a new Marvel show that's coming out this week?
There is not. I mean, I know coming up on the end of this month we've got Kenobi. A new trailer was dropped.
Hours ago.
Yeah, hours ago, literally. So it was nice closer up. One of the best things from it that I thought was like oh my god, this is amazing moment is when they showed Vader.
Sure, damn, I need to watch this trailer.
Yeah, they like, because obviously when they announced it, there was like, oh, Vader is in it. So they
Yeah.
teased the whole of like Vader suiting up for some confrontation, and it was just amazing.
Yeah, I mean, he already got leaked that he was going to be in it a long time ago, didn't it? I think that came out when the leaks that an open one series was even happening, or the rumors. It was like Vader's in there,
Yeah,
but
that was the speculation. Yeah, but they announced it anyway when they announced Kenobi. Straight off, it was Lucas.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. Because
Lucas
they were talking about
film and Disney, who were like, Vader and Obi-Wan get their like rematch.
Yeah, because they were talking about I think even they asked Ewan McGregor, and he was like seeing, or it was like Hayden Christensen. They asked him, and it was like one of they asked either one of them. I think to see the person reprising their role again was great. Yeah. You know, it's like they already confirmed it, like interviews that they were going to be there.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, it should be cool. I like the series that they're doing for Star Wars, and that Disney are doing far more than their movies that they made. Rogue One was the only good movie that they made. So having these new series, like having this Open One series, would be really cool to see. I think Star Wars actually works well as a series by what they're showcasing here versus the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'd be cool to see. Looking forward to it. I know my brother's looking forward to it. I think the moment the first trailer dropped, like immediately I was getting those messages from him about it. He was like, look! Like Duel of the Fates kicked on and stuff in the first trailer. I was like, ah! So, yeah, that's cool. I didn't know that was even out, the new trailer.
Is there a date for it? Or?
Hold on. Obi-Wan release date. Apparently the first episode date is the 27th of May.
Alright, that's...
According to radiotimes.com, Obi-Wan will now be released on Disney Plus on Friday, 27th of May, 2022 at 8 AM GMT.
Oh, well, shit, that's way soon.
That's soon!
For some reason I was expecting October. I don't know why October was in my head.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be quite a while away. Yeah. Alright, nice then. Well, in that case, that's new coming out this month. That should have been the where was our list before, talking about what was new. Well, is it coming?
Multiverse of the multiverse.
Yeah. There's a multiverse. Cool. Sounds good then.
So yeah.
We'll talk more about that then. I'm sure I will get reviews from my brother as it happens. For him to talk about it. If we want them, if no one's watching them.
I mean, if it comes to it, I might just like stream it over Discord. I didn't actually say that, lawyers. Just Disney don't lawyer up, please.
It's a joke, of course.
It's a joke. We're kidding.
I'm just joshing.
What he means is they will just utilise the feature group watch where we can
go to each other's house and watch.
Well,
so
not even that group watch. If you've all got Disney Plus, we can share the link and have like a viewing party so one person can control it. But cause obviously we'd all have our Disney accounts, therefore they're not bypassing like a subscription thing. Quote. Everyone will be able to watch it together.
Or I can just download it illegally.
Dun dun dun. The person who said that, his name's Nick. We are not affiliated with those views.
And yeah, gentlemen, I think that is a podcast.
I think that is it, because we have to skip the rolling for player's choice for next week. So, yeah. It's been... It's been good.
Yes.
It's been
definitely.
Good. And
there's a decent amount to talk about this week with the Embracer Group buying and stuff, and new games and things like that, and finding out about Obi-Wan and stuff. Yeah. I'm going to have to message my brother and tell him, like, hey, are you watching up? What's going on with that? Why don't you talk to me about this new trailer? Because if he ain't talked to me, he must be dead. I know he's not dead because he messaged me about something, but he may as well be, because he didn't talk to me about Obi-Wan.
Trail.
I know. Right, team. It's been good. Thank you everyone who has joined in and listened on our YouTube.
Yes, it's been lovely. And until next week, Let's get a drink from the bar. Barkeep!
Barkeep!